Welcome, everyone. Look, if you're in the business of global fleet procurement, you already know the stakes are incredibly high. We aren't just buying off-the-shelf sedans here, right? We're sourcing highly specialized multi-million-dollar commercial vehicles. So today, we're going to transform the definitive guide to vetting a China logistics truck manufacturer into a clear, visual roadmap. Think of this explainer as your direct path to successfully navigating the really complex world of importing custom heavy-duty trucks. Trucks that actually do the exact job you need them to do. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. Number 1. Vetting your manufacturing partner. 2. Drivetrains and payload optimization. 3. Custom bodies and powertrains. 4. Global compliance and homologation. And finally, 5. RFQs, MOQs, and shipping.
All right, Section 1, Vetting your manufacturing partner.
Honestly, finding a legitimate, highly capable factory is the foundational challenge of this entire mission. Mostly because buying standard, off-the-lot models rarely meets the specialized logistics requirements of different global regions. And the commercial risk of getting duped in this industry, it is absolutely real. There are trading companies out there that mask themselves as direct vehicle manufacturers, but behind the curtain, they're merely assembling pre-made parts. What you absolutely need is a verified factory, a true partner with distinct, heavy-duty bodybuilding facilities that actually engineers custom superstructures from the ground up.
So the crucial point here is, when you're auditing a factory, you must demand uncompromising metal fabrication and testing standards. You're looking for automated robotic welding lines and submerged arc welding. That's going to guarantee structural integrity for those heavy payloads. You also want to see electrophoretic coating, or E-coat, for the chassis, and polyurethane top coats for superior UV resistance to fight off corrosion. And you literally cannot skip the quality inspection reports. A real factory conducts non-destructive testing, or NDT, on all load-bearing welds, and they run rigorous hydraulic system pressure tests. Because at the end of the day, this is what guarantees your fleet's life cycle.
Moving right along to Section 2, Drivetrains and Payload Optimization. And this brilliantly illustrates the complex engineering choices we have to make, because matching the truck's configuration to your exact environment is what prevents catastrophic mechanical wear down the line. I mean, if you're handling urban last-mile logistics, a 4x2 setup handling 10 to 18 tons makes perfect sense. But if you try to use that exact same setup for heavy-duty industrial hauling, it's going to fail, and quickly. For heavy transport or feed delivery, you need an 8x4 configuration capable of hauling 31 to 40 tons, or maybe a 6x6 or 8x8 for extreme off-road and logging applications. Choosing the right layout is just critical for your specific operational application.
But beyond the drivetrain, we absolutely have to talk about materials, because your material choices offer a massive, direct financial benefit. By utilizing lightweight aluminum alloys for the superstructure, you significantly reduce the unladen or tear weight of the logistics truck. Now, why does this matter? Well, it's simple. Every kilogram you save on the vehicle itself is a kilogram you can add to your cargo. It allows fleet operators to legally maximize their payload capacity, and that directly translates into higher profits per trip. A real game changer for sure.
All right, Section 3, Custom Bodies and Powertrains.
Let's get into the physical breakdown of the vehicle, which actually reveals a critical industry truth that surprises a lot of first-time buyers. Top-tier China logistics truck manufacturers do not build their own engines. Instead, their engineering teams focus completely on the complex body fabrication, and they partner directly with proven global and domestic chassis builders. We're talking about major integrated OEMs like Sinotruk, Dongfeng, and Shackman. And honestly, this direct partnership is exactly what you want, because it guarantees authentic components, valid warranties, and international performance standards for your chassis and engine.
To really grasp why the fabricator's absolute focus on the custom body is so important, just think about the functional components required here. Imagine a massive bulk feed truck managing agricultural logistics. It can't just rely on a standard freight box. It needs highly complex hydraulic augers engineered for rapid, precise bulk discharge. It needs internal tank compartmentalization so you can carry mixed loads without any contamination. It needs weatherproof sealing mechanisms and a power takeoff, or PTO system, that remains completely reliable under immense load. Without every single one of these systems executing perfectly, the entire agricultural supply chain basically grinds to a halt.
It is also vital to understand that powertrain requirements contrast wildly based on your target geography. If you're operating in mountainous regions, you absolutely require high-torque engines paired with advanced retarded braking systems just to stay safe on those long descents. On the flip side, if your fleet runs flat highway routes, you benefit entirely from high-speed rear axle ratios designed for maximum fuel efficiency. Oh, and furthermore, the engineering team has to calculate exact axle load distributions when matching that custom body to the chassis, because incorrect weight distribution leads to dangerous steering failure and just totally wrecks your tires.
Which brings us to Section 4, Global Compliance and Homologation.
I actually like to think of this phase as the boss fight of the procurement process, because it really all boils down to this one critical question: will your truck actually pass customs? Look, you can design the most perfectly engineered fleet in the world, but if it's non-compliant with local road safety and environmental regulations, it will face immediate rejection at the destination port. Your entire project can be destroyed before the trucks even touch the asphalt. And let's be honest, nothing ruins your week quite like a multi-million-dollar impound notice.
So to prevent a total disaster at the port, B2B buyers must meticulously verify strict international automotive certifications. You need to look for frameworks like IATF 16949, which guarantees automotive quality management systems. If you're importing to Europe, you need E-Mark certification for road safety. Over in North America, DOT compliance is mandatory. And if you're shipping to high-temperature Middle Eastern climates, your fleet must meet GCC standardization. You have to specify these requirements literally from day one.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, of all these regulations, engine emission standards are actually the most critical compliance factor of all. Global markets have wildly different mandates. You have to know exactly whether your destination country requires Euro 5 or Euro 6 emission standards, and you must secure the official homologation certificates matching those exact laws from the manufacturer. Because customs authorities will flat out reject commercial vehicles that are lacking the proper emission documentation.
Finally, we hit Section 5, RFQs, MOQs, and shipping.
Let's wrap up this explainer by detailing the actual logistics of ordering, manufacturing lead times, and physically shipping these vehicles across the globe. Initiating a request for quotation, an RFQ, requires exact, unambiguous parameters. If your request is vague, you're going to face inaccurate pricing and disastrous engineering delays. A professional RFQ must definitively outline the required gross vehicle weight, or GVW, and net payload. It must specify your preferred chassis brand and minimum horsepower. You need to list your local emission standards and safety certifications up front, and crucially, detail the exact operational climate conditions and terrain types the trucks will endure.
You also got to set realistic expectations for factory production realities. Custom-built logistics vehicles are almost never held in ready-to-ship inventory. For standard logistics boxes, often shipped as completely built units, you might see a minimum order quantity, or MOQ, of 1 with lead times of 30 to 45 days. But for highly customized bodies, like those complex bulk feed tankers we talked about, expect that single unit to take 60 to 90 days. And if you're looking to do SKD or CKD orders, factories typically demand an MOQ of at least 10 units, mainly because developing the custom packaging and assembly jigs is really capital intensive.
And speaking of shipping, the methodology you choose drastically impacts your final landed costs. RoRo, or roll-on/roll-off shipping, is the standard for fully assembled trucks. They are literally driven safely right into the ship's enclosed cargo hold. However, high-volume fleet buyers often use SKD, semi-knockdown, or CKD, completely knockdown shipping, as a major financial strategy. By removing the wheels and cabs for containerization, it's almost like incredibly expensive heavy-duty IKEA furniture. They significantly reduce both ocean freight costs and import tariffs.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Your fleet's success relies entirely on the perfect build. So ask yourself, is your current logistics partner truly engineering for your exact environment? Or are they just selling you standard parts? Don't let your major investment be an off-the-shelf compromise. Use the structured principles we've covered today to elevate your procurement strategy and secure a fleet that delivers exactly what you demand.